And Everett Miller there is standing at the center of your screen. We are awaiting this verdict that has taken the jury just a few hours this morning to deliberate about there in the courtroom. One of the testimonies that we heard was Miller's sister. She described him as being loving and caring, and she said she had fond memories of him. But she went on to say in this testimony that after he left the military and after some time where he was homeless, she noticed some changes in her brother. She described things that she didn't see him showering often, and that maybe he would even wear the same clothes multiple times in a week. And she said that he even once, as she described in her words, he was acting weird. She said that he told her someone had been watching him. And so there had been some argument from the state that there was a pattern of hatred against law enforcement. And so that was part of what they made in the argument as they brought this case against this man who's accused of killing the two Kissimmee officers back in 2017. The deliberations got going early this morning, and at any moment, we're going to hear this verdict that the jury has come to in this Everett Miller murder trial today. Now, we're going to get the verdict is what we are hearing in moments. Miller could face the death penalty if he is convicted in this case. Let's listen in live.
State recognize the presence of the jurors.
Yes, sir.
Defense? We do. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you all reached a unanimous verdict in this case?
Yes.
If the foreperson will hand the verdict forms to the court deputy for me, please. Each of the verdict forms is in order. Madam Clerk, if you'll please announce the jury's verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the Ninth Judicial Circuit in and for Osceola County, Florida, State of Florida versus Everett Glenn Miller, case number 2017 CF 2906, verdict as to count 1, first degree premeditated murder of Matthew Baxter. We the jury find the defendant guilty of first degree murder as charged in the indictment. Special findings as to count 1, aggravation of a felony by carrying a firearm. If you found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder or the lesser included offense of second-degree murder or manslaughter, you must then answer the following question. During the commission of the offense, did the defendant personally carry, display, use, threaten to use, or attempt to use a firearm? Yes. Special finding as to count 1, possession of a firearm with discharge causing death of Matthew Baxter. If you found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder or the lesser included offense of second-degree murder, you must then answer the following questions. Number 1, during the commission of the offense, did the defendant actually possess a firearm? Yes. Number 2, during the commission of the offense, did the defendant personally discharge a firearm? Yes. Number 3, during the commission of the offense, and as a result of the discharge of the firearm, was death caused to Matthew Baxter? Yes. Verdict as to count 2. First degree premeditated murder of Richard Sam Howard. We the jury find the defendant guilty of first degree murder as charged in the indictment. Special findings as to count 2, aggravation of a felony by carrying a firearm. If you found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder or the lesser included offense of second-degree murder or manslaughter, you must then answer the following question. During the commission of the offense, did the defendant personally carry, display, use, threaten to use, or attempt to use a firearm? Yes. Special finding as to count 2, possession of a firearm with discharge causing death of Richard Sam Howard. If you found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder or the lesser included offense of second-degree murder, You must then answer the following questions. Number 1, during the commission of the offense, did the defendant actually possess a firearm? Yes. Number 2, during the commission of the offense, did the defendant personally discharge a firearm? Yes. Number 3, during the commission of the offense and as a result of the discharge of the firearm, was death caused to Richard Sam Howard? Yes. Verdict as to count 3, resisting officer without violence. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of resisting officer without violence as charged in the indictment. Verdict as to count 4, carrying concealed firearm in establishment licensed to dispense alcohol. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of carrying concealed firearm in establishment licensed to dispense alcohol as charged in the indictment. So say we all, dated at Kissimmee, Osceola County, Florida, on this 11th day of September 2019, signed 4%.
Either party wish to have the jury polled?
Defense request.
Madam Clerk, please poll the members of the jury.
Juror number M18, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number M26, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number M31, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number M32, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number M35, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number M42, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number M45, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number M67, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number M96, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number M108, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 117, is this your verdict? Juror number M122, is this your verdict? The jurors are unanimous.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, based upon your verdicts on counts 1 and 2, a penalty phase will be required in this case. We have previously discussed that. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to excuse you all from the courtroom, but I'm going to remind you that each of you remain under the court's order in this case, not to have any discussions with anyone or to communicate with anyone about the case. You're not to do any research or any investigation of anything related to this case, and you're not to read or listen to any media reports about this case. And I will be asking you to return to participate in the second phase of the trial, which I told you previously was the penalty phase. I previously indicated to you that we do have that scheduled to begin. The penalty phase of this trial will begin on November 5th, 2019. That is a Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the morning. I have checked with the jury services room and to see if they have all the contact information still that you all provided us, that you gave us during the hurricane recess. If the information that you previously provided to us is incorrect, or if there is another way that you would prefer for us to contact you, please let the court deputy know before you leave today and write that information down so that we have it. Again, I'm going to remind you that you are under the court's order still not to discuss the case with anyone, not to do any research or do any investigation, and not to read or listen to any media coverage about this case. In addition, no one is allowed to contact any of you concerning this case. So at this time, I want to thank you for your service thus far, and I'm going to excuse you from the courtroom with a reminder again that you're still under the directions of the court, not to read or listen to any media, not to research or investigate, or in any way discuss the case amongst yourselves or with anyone else. Before you leave, your notes will be collected and they will be stored at this point. When we come back for the penalty phase, the deputies will hand you back your notes so that you'll have them. And at this time, you are ordered to report back on November 5th at 9 a.m. for the start of the penalty phase. Any questions? All right. You're released at this time.
All rise for the jury.
And you've been listening in live as the jury made their guilty verdict in the Everett Miller murder trial. They found him guilty of killing Kissimmee Officer Matthew Baxter and Sergeant Sam Howard. This was back in 2017, and it took them less than 2 hours to reach that verdict. We're going to bring you much more as it develops. We do know that the sentencing phase is not until early November, and that is where the jury will decide if he will face the death penalty after the guilty convictions on first-degree murder in the deaths of those two Kissimmee officers back in 2017.